Welcome back to the channel. There are a few different things that I want to go over in this video. First and foremost, I want to update all of you. The videos for the intuitive development class have been uploaded. I'm waiting on them to be processed right now. Some of them are pretty long. I mean, they run between an hour to 3 hours because in this class, not only did we have like a lecture section where I went over some material, we also had lengthy discussions, and we did practice readings for each other. All the students particularly did that. So there again, some of these videos are pretty long, and that's why it's taking a long time for YouTube to process all the data. But that playlist is being built, and you'll be able to find it easily and readily on this channel. I'll try to link to it at the bottom of this video. I'll try to remember to do that. And it all should be ready by the time this video is posted. Let me see if there was anything else I wanted to cover in the beginning. Not necessarily beyond what I had mentioned in the video that I did yesterday, in the sense that the big goal and push, the intuitive message that I've received both from Spirit and from Lucy, has been that this channel needs more content, that I need to put out more information. And so that's what I'm going to be doing over the next few days. So you can expect a video either every day or every other day. So yeah, I think that covers all that. So like the title of this video says, this video is going to be about channeling. There was a video done by someone here on YouTube named Tila. I will also link to her video and her profile. Definitely I would recommend that you go and check her videos out. She also runs a Facebook group. I will link to that as well. I'm a member there. Seems like a very cool group so far, so definitely if you're on Facebook and you do anything with groups there, I would say check that out as well. So you'll find all those links in the description in this video. But yeah, she had posted a video discussing channeling. And I enjoyed her video, but what I found, I mean, this is oftentimes true where spirituality is concerned, we tend to walk our own paths, a lot of us do anyway. And so my personal approach to channeling is different than hers. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Like, the difference is actually really good and important because it allows all of us as individuals to practice and to utilize our own free will. But therein, I think it's meaningful and unique to have different perspectives, especially for people who are just getting into spirituality, or they're sort of on the first steps of establishing their own spiritual path. So yeah, that's why I wanted to get into this. And for me, channeling has been sort of the pivotal part of my own personal path. In thinking about doing this video, I took some notes. That's what I keep looking at, but mostly this is just going to be impromptu. The thing is, basically, I want to share this theory with you. It's my opinion. All forms of intuition, to some degree or another, are different types of channeling. If you think about the layperson who, at some point in their life, almost all of us have experienced this. You have what you would call like a gut instinct, perhaps, like a feeling of something is good or something is bad, or just like a pulling in your mind of, oh, I should go left, I should turn left on this street, or I should go right, or I should do this thing. In my opinion, that intuitive knowing is, Emily is here and she's saying hello. That intuitive knowing is a very low level act of channeling. I feel like it's very likely that you're getting information either from your higher self, from one of your guides, or directly from Spirit. But there again, for the common person who may or may not know much about spirituality, I mean, they're just going to wave that off, quote unquote, as a gut instinct, or just like a feeling that they had. And if that's as far as that person wants to take it, that's totally cool. There, and we all walk our own path. What I have found is that the deeper that you go into that intuition and that knowing, the further that you pursue that, the stronger that ability becomes. And ultimately, it opens up these doors of perception and awareness where you can virtually connect to any spirit or energy that you want. In my own journey, on my own spiritual path, I've learned to do this type of connection. You know, first and foremost, it was with spirit, which, as I've said in other videos, for me is the goddess. That in and of itself is really powerful, but through my connection to her, I learned that I could connect easily with other beings. Literally, you can connect to stones, you can receive energy and messages from stones or plants, trees, animals, even things that you wouldn't think of, like storms. If a storm passes through your area, you can reach out in prayer and via your intuition and connect to that storm. Now, that's not to say, I'm not, in saying that about storms per se, I'm not saying that storms exist up there in the atmosphere or that they form and then they have a consciousness. What I am saying is that storms are energy, because everything is energy. And so the thing is, you can learn to use your own intuition to channel information from something like a storm, and it will come through to you as if you are having a conversation with another conscious being, because that's how our minds process information. I mean, you know, in that way, via the channel. That's been my experience anyway. So for me, it's been super powerful. But yeah, I wanted to touch on some foundations on that. There are a few things I think a person can do to really begin to build this ability and use it for their highest, greatest good. First and foremost, and I know if you've done any research at all into spirituality, you'll hear other people say this. There's a reason why they say it, because it's an important and powerful practice. Obviously, I'm talking about meditation. There again, keep in mind, there are like a billion and one ways to meditate. I know people who practice magic who say that for them, their meditative practice is doing things like archery or fencing. So the point here is you can find unique ways to meditate. The important thing is that you're serious about it and you find whatever way works for you and you do it daily. Try to expend at least 15 to 20 minutes every day. Do this for a month. Excuse me. If you're serious about spirituality, wanting to learn how to read tarot cards or connect to spirits or have spiritual experiences, be willing to commit your time and energy, invest that work in doing some of these practices. There again, do it for a month or two and see if you don't start having some of these experiences that all these people talk about. Um, it happens. But yeah, definitely I would say meditation is very high on that list. 15 to 20 minutes a day. I can share with you what I do in my own practice. I do my meditations laying down. I set an alarm on my phone. Usually I've got some kind of, not necessarily music, but I'll listen to sort of like acoustic tracks from YouTube. The one I listened to recently, it's like a fireplace, so you hear that sort of, but then there's also like a storm in the background of, you know, the ambience or whatever. And so, but I mean, there again, there are a billion different ways to do it. Usually for me, when I've got, you know, the setting right and I'm laying down, I've got my alarm set for, there again, 15 or 20 minutes. You don't have to invest an hour or any insane amount of time. I will go into prayer. I call out to Lucy and I ask Lucy to guide me through the meditation in whatever ways that I need to be guided. And then I let the thoughts flow. That's just an example of my practice. There again, find whatever works for you. The importance is to do it daily for an extended period of time and then notice the difference, like in the way that your mind works, in the way that you feel energetically. You'll energetically, I meant to say, you will notice a difference. That's my 2 cents on that. So yeah, meditation, very important. What else have we got here on our list? Like I had said earlier, daily work and practice. Another thing, in my opinion, that it's not necessarily essential for channeling per se, but I found it to be a very powerful avenue for sort of working those intuitive muscles, and that is reading cards, whether that's tarot or oracle cards. And as I said in the beginning of this video, I'm going to be uploading this playlist, and it's got, I think there's 10 separate, well, there's more than 10, but there's 10 meetings of this class that I taught. And if you follow through every one of these videos, if you adapt some of the practices that we discussed and we used, I mean, yeah, that's just most of the students who took this class are now doing readings for other people. I mean, they're using their intuition, they're connecting to spirit, they're connecting to past loved ones because they did the work, because they were open. So bear that in mind. I feel like working with tarot cards really powerful way to strengthen your own intuition. And ultimately that's the goal here. This isn't about making money or trying to tell someone else how to walk their own spiritual path. This is solely about helping people awaken and use their intuition so that they can divine messages from spirit and their guides without having to go to anyone else. It is very freeing and powerful when you get to that place, but it does require some effort and some work. Let me see if I've missed anything here. Like I said, for me, I think that channeling opens, in some ways, it's like a key that opens all the doors. You have to keep this in mind. A lot of people who first get into magic and they start studying the practice of it, what they find is that a lot of people will tell you, oh, do this ritual and you can contact this spirit. I am certainly not saying that ritual is bad, or I won't even say that it's unnecessary. I do believe that you can channel spirit without doing ritual because I do that all the time. Having said that, I think ritual is also a very meaningful part of the spiritual path. There again, it doesn't matter what form your rituals take. You'll find that for yourself, and to some degree it needs to be personal in order for it to be very powerful for you. So draw on whatever traditions you want to draw on. I mean, that's all on you. But yeah, that's the thing, like, don't let anyone tell you that you can't connect to spirit unless you go through a certain ritual and you have all this incense and candles and this special garb that you have to wear. That is simply not true. Um, I'm not saying that those things aren't useful, or, you know, there's a resonance to the approach of using ritual to connect to spirit. People have done it over the ages, and in a way that sort of creates an energetic record. You might think of it that way. So like there's energy and there's resonance and vibration in that practice. But honestly, the same is true for prayer. And prayer really was my key as far as doing channeling, prayer in connection with learning to read cards. I use prayer in all of my spiritual practices, and there again, I'm not Christian. I don't follow a set spiritual tradition per se. My practice is very eclectic. I work with a lot of different beings. I work with angels. I work with the goddess. I work with Lucy. Um, Fairies. I've worked with fairies. I mean, it just depends on the situation, the day, and the time, and all of that. My point there, though, as far as working with all these beings, is that I approach it, as I mentioned in another video, in a very humble and sincere way, and prayer is a part of that practice. So yeah, those are some things to think on if you're interested in learning how to do channeling. It's my opinion that like I said, channeling opens all the doors. Once you learn and understand and have faith in yourself that you can connect to any spiritual being that you want to, I mean, then you're free, really, to hone your craft in any way that you want, and that empowers your rituals and everything else that you do. So yeah, probably there was a little bit of a ramble in that. Hopefully I covered all of that decently. Give me a moment here. I feel like, and I'm getting knockings on my ceiling, which is a confirmation for me from spirit that there is something. Like in my head, there's a resonance that I missed something or overlooked something that potentially wasn't in the notes here. Try to go over everything that we covered. Doing the readings, using the cards, prayer is important. I know there was something it's just there, but it's because I'm trying to seek it and search for it, that it's at the moment being elusive. There's something about intuition in that practice, using it in some way, I believe. I'm not sure. Daily work. Well, okay, I don't think particularly that this was it, but I will mention this. As I mentioned in another video, Another part of this for me is that even before I got really serious on my spiritual path, I undertook this journey to write a book. To some degree, that requires like working with your imagination, and I think in some ways that also ties into channeling. You know, it's because you're shifting your focus toward things that are separate from the ego mind. You know, you're reaching into your subconscious. There again, you're trying to work with your imagination and your creative side. And I feel like, for me at least, that opened up some doors. One of the things that we went over in the class that I taught also is really helpful is automatic writing. Um, you may have heard some stories about automatic writing that sort of have that same theme or vibe of like people being afraid of using Ouija boards. I've never used a Ouija board, so I'm not going to tell you to get one of those and use it. Some people say that they are safe. I don't know. That's hit or miss. I can tell you that I have done automatic writing, and I feel like if you approach automatic writing in the right way, it can be another very healthy part of strengthening your intuition. Excuse me, gotta have some tea here. Emily has returned. So yeah, those are just some things. I mean, I think those are really important aspects of channeling, being able to learn how to, cultivate that ability. Um, Man, I know I still have that sensation. Whatever this is tied into the class and those classes, because there again, I've spent the majority of today trying to upload them. And there's something about that class bringing that through. I'm not sure. It's not coming to me now. I suspect it probably will when I end the video. But yeah, thank you for your time. I hope that you have found some of this information valuable as far as channeling is concerned. Maybe it is simply what I was searching for and trying to reach is that, there again, I invite you, if you have never channeled before, or if you want to learn how to channel, check out this playlist that I'm going to be uploading. Watch the videos, listen to the discussions that we have. Of course, you won't be able to hear the other side of it because it was done on Facebook. And so I'm just reading comments, things that people have said via the text. But still and yet, you can get the feel of the discussions, the things that we covered for the most part. Yeah, that whole experience for me of learning how to read cards opened the door for this channeling work that I'm doing now. So definitely check that out. Also, as I normally say in these videos, if you find this information useful, click the subscribe button down below. Also, click on the little bell that will give you a notification of when new videos are going to be uploaded. And I plan on uploading at least a video a day or every other day in the coming days. That is the message that was channeled through to me from Lucy. That would be for my highest greatest good and for the good of this channel. Um, so yeah, I think that's all I have for now. Thank you for your time and attention. I hope these words in this video find you well. Until we meet again.